Right now, I'm in the middle of watching My Friend Dahmer. I know he did some truly terrible things. My mentality in going into this movie was just that I wanted to at least better understand him before he started doing those terrible things. And I feel like with his upbringing, there were like a lot of things to consider that I feel like I really try to figure out why. You try to think about how could you have changed things. So I know he had a very bad upbringing. His family was not very, they were not a good influence, I feel like. His mom didn't seem to be, the best role model, and I don't think she really paid attention to him very much. And his dad, I think, lacked as well in many areas. So what I tried to think about, at least thus far while watching this, is how can you take someone with his interest and spin it into something positive? So I feel like his parents have known for a while that he has an interest in bones and the insides of living things. So he often would go find roadkill and dissolve their bodies in acid, and then probably take their bones and, I don't know, like preserve them and stuff like that. So yeah, I understand that interest is very dark, and it's, I feel like it's kind of difficult, right, to twist it into something positive. But also, if you know kids, you know that if you just straight up ban them from doing something like that, then it can be difficult for them to follow through with it, because they have such an urge, they have that interest, and they will probably end up continuing to do so just without you knowing. So I was thinking, like, as a parent, if you see that your child has these interests, how can you possibly let them indulge in something like this without it being negative and without it spinning into something dangerous like it did for him? And I really can't think of anything, because when I was thinking of, understanding parts and like animals and their dead bodies and everything, I was thinking like veterinarian, but that's much different, because it's not like, as a vet, you don't really dismember animals and observe them. You're just trying to maybe understand all the other aspects of it. So, I'm honestly really clueless as to what ways there would be to turn a hobby like that into something positive, but that was just something I was really thinking of. Another thing that kind of sparked a discussion in my mind was that, once again, his father said something along the lines of, like, you need to make friends. Friends is like your way into the world, your gateway to the world. And I'm actually really tired of that phrase, you need to make friends. And I honestly think that is such a big issue with parents telling their kids something like that, because it pisses me off that parents feel like people can't be different. And they think that unless you make friends, then your life is incomplete. And also, when you're young and your parents are telling you something like this, I feel like it's so unnecessary for parents to pressure their kids with a concept like, if you don't make friends, then there's something wrong with you. I feel like it ends up coming across that way, even if the parent doesn't intend it, because you're telling them that the way you're living your life is wrong, so you have to change it. But someone else actually commented on my introvert video that they wanted to show their mom my video so she could understand that living as an introvert is fine and you can be happy. And it makes me so sad to think that parents say garbage like that to their kids, because my parents still say that stuff to me. And I'm 26, almost 27. I am, what I feel, in a very good place in my life, where I live by myself, I make pretty good money, and I spend all of my time alone pretty much, and I'm happy. So I am pretty sure that my parents told me in the past to make friends and everything, especially after my social period ended. I had a very long period of school where I was just by myself all the time. I didn't have interest in making friends, and honestly, if you think about it, if someone wanted to make, it's not really a choice not to make friends. I think it's a choice in terms of who you decide to keep around. I think people think of making friends as something that just happens because you want it. And I also think that's the same way people view relationships sometimes, because they tell you to make friends, right? But that stuff is so situational. You have to meet the right person that you get along with. You have to come across the circumstance of meeting that person. And then you have to determine whether that person is actually a good influence on your life, whether they are dependable, whether they actually benefit your life. It makes me so mad to think about kids having their parents, their loved one, their idol, their role model, or like someone who is really helping to lead them through life, tell them some stupid phrase like, you have to make friends. That just makes me so angry, because there are so many other things that your kid should be focused on, that they should feel pressured about, and making friends is not something that they should feel pressured about, because it doesn't just come out of nowhere. If they wanted to make friends, they need to find that right person. I really hope that this culture of needing contact and relationships and stuff starts to subside, but I really doubt that's gonna happen. I just really wanted to rant about that because I am so sick of hearing that stuff. I'm so sick of hearing that every single time a character is shown to be introverted in a movie, their parents always say that shit to them. I do wonder if people can relate to this. I would like to think they can. But if not, then hopefully you can relate to why, as a person or as a child or teen growing up, hearing a phrase like you have to make friends is actually damaging. I think it's damaging. Even if it's subtle, it is damaging. And I hope that people get my message. They understand it, because now I need to finish this movie. And admittedly, I don't think this movie's very good. At least so far, I think I'm halfway, and I'm bored. I don't think they're doing a very good job at getting you to understand Dahmer. But I think it's kind of tricky too, because he clearly is an introvert, and as a result of that, he's not going to be very talkative in the movie. He's also not going to be the type of person that really explains his thoughts, and maybe he didn't really understand himself at that age. This is the teenage years. So I just do find it difficult to really connect with his character. I understand that he did some terrible things, but at this age, I really wanted to see if they did a good job of portraying his upbringing and, the scenarios that kind of led up to when he started killing. Good morning. It's Sunday, and I am heading out right now to meet up with my parents for dim sum. This place is very close to where we ate dinner last time, but we are giving another Chinese restaurant a try because the other one, the food wasn't bad, but the atmosphere felt weird. It was like tables all in one big room. There were no dividers, so the fact that there were only 4 families there just felt off. I think that if I get there slightly early, I might just go grab some bubble tea, because bubble tea opens at 11. It is 11:06 right now, and if you go early, that means that there is hardly a line. So I need to take advantage of that, especially since they are right next to each other. So it's not like I'm going out of my way for this. Once again, today we are going to look at some open houses. The thing is, though, I feel like I'm not really sure the houses I found were ones that they would like, because I don't know why I'm looking up open houses, not them. Well, I think I know why, because they are older and they are not very good with using the computer and stuff, so I have to do it. But yeah, since open house doesn't usually take super long, I'm not really sure what we aim to do after, if we do anything at all. Alright, so I got here early and wanted to pick up some bubble tea, so I did. right here. Oh, my mom. They were peeling oranges in my car yesterday. Anyways, so kind of as expected, my mom said that they are late because they were looking for a gas station for a while, and not always are they the most punctual. I think my dad usually is. My mom definitely is not. So they said they're going to be 5 to 10 minutes late. I guess I could actually probably head over now and try to reserve a table. I don't know if it's very crowded, so maybe I should go do that. And hopefully I can find a spot with shade so I don't have to worry about my drink getting hot while I'm eating. So I'm gonna head over. Man, I've been out all day, and she has been sleeping and dreaming all day. Right, puppers? You're so mean. Come on, pups. Good. 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 Okay, so I have been out for the whole day. I pretty much went to meet up with my parents. I met up with my parents at dim sum at 11:30, and then right after we went straight to open houses, and we were pretty much looking at open houses until 4 o'clock. So like 4 hours, we went to a ton of houses. We saw random ones along the way. We would go in and take a look. And for the most part, today's houses ranged from 600,000 to 750. And there was one in particular, a $659,000 house that my dad really liked, and I do admit it was very nice. The only difference was that it was 2-bedroom, which made it seem like it wasn't as good of a deal, but it had a very nice private yard and the neighborhood was very nice. So I personally think the price was pretty nice and worthwhile, but I'm not really sure what they plan on doing. We are actually going to see some more houses tomorrow, so I don't really mind it because I find it all very interesting and maybe a little motivating for me to save, because you know, I am hoping to buy a nice house as my next big goal, and I have big aspirations, so I'm not going to buy a starter house. I want to aim to buy my forever home, and that is probably going to be upwards of 600,000. Definitely don't want to be limited by money, so I will have to figure something out if I want what I really want. Yeah, I mean, so after that we went back to the hotel, kind of talked a little bit. We eventually went to eat hot pot for dinner, so it was a pretty long day overall, but it was a good one. Yeah, my book finally came. So I mentioned I was going to read this, Brave, by Rose McGowan. This book seems like it is, let's see, 250 pages, so this is going to be a fast read. I'm gonna have to order my next book like right away because I have been devouring books if they are good, unlike Beartown. And not gonna lie, this hardcover feels so nice. I'm probably going to read some more Agatha Christie, so I'm going to look to buy hardcover for some of her Hercule Poirot series. Man, I'm so bad at French, and I know that pronunciation means everything for different languages, so I don't like to butcher them. But French, I don't have a lot of practice with the pronunciation, so not good at that. But it's already 7, so just going to be a read and movie night as usual. But since I've been out all day, it will be nice and relaxing, and I can't wait to do it. Can't wait to do it. Wow, so loud. I think if I bark louder, she gets scared, like, very, very quiet. Oh, peppers.